Hello, everyone. Today, we'll be explaining how every Piggy character from Book 1 got infected, in cost-value order. I will also try my best to explain how non-canon characters became infected. We don't have much evidence on some of these Piggies, so don't get mad if your prediction isn't on here. Before we do that, I want to go over my Piggy eye color video. First, thanks for the support, likes, and comments you all put down, and I will be giving shoutouts in the comments to random people. Like these people. Second, a few of my comments were saying how orange eyes and the insolence are the same thing. And honestly, that sounds like a much better theory than my orange eyes one. Thirdly, I noticed many comments complaining about my black eyes theory. Why does Mother have black eyes if she's not dead? My theory on Mother is that maybe someone killed her in self-defense because she was infected. Then Mother was somehow revived and got back up. But since she died, she had black eyes. But what do you think? Lastly, stop mentioning I forgot Willow. I don't get what's so. I completely understand now. That's all I have to say. Well, onto the video. First, we have Penny, or Piggy, who is the very first infected the player encounters. She is one of the 3 people who tested Mr. P's potion. At first, the potion was seen as a success, and made the testers feel more stronger. But everything went downhill after the potion's side effects turned Penny and her family into the infected. Next we have Little Brother, or Georgie Pig. He was able to survive the infection by running away from his infected family and hiding in the mall map. After being found by player, he was able to survive the whole series. If he did become infected, he would be most vulnerable at the start of the infection. Next we have Mother. She was another person that tested Mr. P's potion. Just like Penny, the potion's side effects caused her to become infected. She is the main bot of the station map. Next, we have Father. He was the 3rd person who tested the potion. Of course, the side effects caused him to become infected. We first see him in the gallery cutscene, and he most likely followed the player into the gallery chapter. Next we have Grandmother. We first see her infected on the city map. She has a small business called Grandma Piggy's Patine. She must have gotten infected after shutting down, because we find the place closed down. Georgie went to the city to find his grandmother, but after finding her infected, he fled. Next we have Sheepy. We first see her as a minor infected at the gallery cutscene, and then becomes the main bot of Chapter 4. Sheepy must have wandered into the forest and found the player. A note from Mr. P tells us that Sheepy must have helped him before the infection. Next we have Pandy, who is a skin in the shop. This one is kinda confusing. Pandy is never mentioned at all, but he's in B2, so I will just assume that this is a different Pandy. He was most likely infected while collecting bamboo somewhere, as that's his weapon. Next up, we have the teacher, who is the main bot for the school map. Something strange is that, in a note, Bunny recalls how when she first got to the school, the teacher was not infected, but soon later, the teacher did become infected, trapping Bunny. We can also find an empty potion on one of the desks, indicating that the teacher drank Mr. P's potion. Next up, Memory. Memory only appears as the main bot of Distorted Memory. I don't believe that she's infected, rather a cruel reference of one of Georgie's family members in his nightmare. It's probably meant to be Penny, as Georgie used to be with her a lot. The ghostly appearance shows how Georgie's family is infected or dead. Next up, Kitty, a skin in the shop. The only reference to her is a small business called Kitty's Kitchen. I know she is in book 2, but that's for another video. Her weapon is a shovel, but she just had it before in the Tease PT. Next up, Mimi. In book 1, she only appeared as a safe place resident at the end of the mall cutscene, but then has a bigger role in book 2. She is known to be an engineer and helped the Safe Place group by fixing things or using her smarts. Her best friend is Kona, and she managed to survive the whole series. She probably was infected while collecting a sample in a cave because she carries a pickaxe. Next up, we have DinoPiggy, who is a skin in the shop. This character is non-canon, as it's a reference to Georgie Pig's dinosaur toy. But what if this Piggy is an animatronic that went rogue? But that's just a theory. Piggy theory. Next up, we have Daisy, who is the caretaker of Willow and William after their parents got arrested. She owns a store called Daisy's TVs, but later had to leave to the military. She was then infected at the camp map, fighting off the infected, but for some reason she uses a board with a nail. After that, we have Angel, who is a skin in the shop. This skin is the most non-canon as there is no evidence about it, but an infected angel could indicate that even good people can become infected, even if they are an angel. Next we have Pony, who is a major survivor in Book 1 and Book 2. We first meet him at the end of the carnival map. Pony helps the player throughout most of their journey, mostly after you give him a carrot. He cares the most for Zizzy, and he is most known for being the one who infects Doggy with the potion. Pony does get infected in certain endings in the lab map. Next is Devil, who is a skin at the shop. Just like Angel, there is almost no information on him. It could just be a reference to how bad people will also become infected, where they will rot in their own corpse for the rest of their lives as the devil laughs at them. Next up, we have Doggy, who we first meet at station. He is a police officer that helped the player in chapters 2 and 3, but sadly, in the forest map, he became infected after Pony Force fed him the potion. Unlike other bots, he just randomly wanders around the map and alerts the Piggy if he comes near you. Next up, Giraffy. He first appeared as just a Safe Place resident in Book 1, but gets a bigger role in Book 2. He tags along as a minor character during their journey, but it all ended when Giraffy sacrificed by taking the bullet from Willow. Luckily, he was fine, but had to stay back while the TSP members recovered him. He could have gotten infected if the TSP members betrayed him, but that's just a what if. After that, we have Beary. He was the main bot of the hospital map. It is most likely that he helped the research in finding out a cure for Mr. P's wife. He also is responsible for causing evacuation of the hospital after becoming infected. It is unknown how he became infected, but he probably came in contact with substance 128. Next we have Foxy, who appeared as a minor bot at Carnival. He appears in a cage and 2 notes reveal how Foxy was betrayed by the TSP and later turned infected. It's unknown who infected Foxy, but it most likely was Clowny. On the Carnival map, Foxy will randomly move 1 step inside his cage. The player must avoid him to get a key. Next, we have Elly. Elly is the main bot of the city map and owns a big business called Elly's Enterprises. Not much is known about her, but we can tell that she was wealthy because her family lives in a mansion. It's unknown how she was infected, but she was infected in city. Next, we have Soldier, who appear as minor bots in Outpost map. They tried their best to defend the outpost, but became infected instead. Part of their face is burnt to show how Torture tried to clear them out with fire, but failed. In Outpost, they come from holes and randomly move around. Next, we have ZomPiggy, who is a bit strange. Minitoon confirmed ZomPiggy was a girl, so she first appeared as the main bot of Metro. She doesn't really have a backstory, but maybe she could be Mother as there's this toxic waste in the station map. So maybe she fell in it and turned into ZomPiggy. After that, we have Badgey, who is the main bot of Plant. Badgey worked as one of the researchers for Mr. P's cure, but ended up getting infected after coming into contact with substance 128, as that's what he's holding. He possibly wrote a note right after it happened. Next we have Bunny, who was a survivor. She helped in Mr. P's research. She first appeared at School map, where the player saves Bunny. She continues with player through the hospital map too, but on the Metro map, she reveals how she drank Mr. P's potion. With no other choice, the player leaves Bunny as she slowly turns infected. Next up, Skelly, who is a skin in the shop. He only in school where he's a prop in the science room. This skin isn't supposed to be related to the lore, and instead just a fun skin you can use. Next up, Clowny, who is the main bot of Carnival. Not much is known about him, or how he was even infected. We do know he did work for Mr. P. as a mascot. Maybe he was infected after a group of infected raided the carnival and infected everyone. Next up, Tigry, who is a skin in the shop. There is another variant of him in book 2 that has a bigger role, but this variant has almost no information. This is just another skin you can use for fun. I will go over his book 2 version. Next up, Mousy Bot and Mousy Skin. The Mousy Bot first appeared in Mall and the Mousy Skin, which appeared with the build mode update. The Mousy Bot is legless and roams the vents of the mall. The Mousy Skin does have legs, but it's theorized that Mousy stole Robby's legs. It's unknown how they were infected. Next up, Parasee, who is a skin in the shop. Parasee was originally going to be the bot of distorted memory, but was replaced with memory instead. Parasee is also a parasite. It would make sense for him to be in distorted memory, as Parasee could be damaging Georgie's mind. Next up, we have Zizzy, who is a major survivor. We first meet her at the end of the carnival cutscene. She joins the player's journey to confront Mr. P, but in book 2, she gets captured by the TSP, so Pony and player break in to rescue her. After they free Zizzy, they realize she has a scratch from an infected, so they end up having to leave her behind. She also is in Distraction, where she blows up the refinery to cause a distraction, and in the hidden ending, we think she gets cured. Next we have Ghosty, who is a skin at the shop. Ghosty doesn't appear at all in the Piggy lore, but maybe he is just an angry spirit that was a part of a crew long ago. Next we have Robby, who is the main bot of Mall Map. There is a secret note telling us that the mall installed a security robot to protect the mall. So Robby is a rogue robot that is just doing what it was programmed to do: kill any intruders. And unluckily, Zizzy and player both enter the mall as intruders. Next up, Billy. He originally was going to be the main bot of Plant, but was replaced by Badgey. He was also known to be strong, as he carries a weight. He also helped Willow in stealing a pie in the heist chapter, but a note revealed how Billy wanted to travel the world, which explains why we don't see him anymore. It's unknown how he was infected. Next up, Budgey, who first appears as just a skin in book 1, but in book 2, he has a bigger role. He helps the Safe Place group cross the ocean by using his boat. We learn his entire crew became infected and now are sealed in the lower deck. After the group uses Budgey's boat, he gives the group good luck and he stays behind. And finally, we have Torture, who is the main bot of Outpost Map. He was one of the soldiers that was infected, defending the outpost. It's unknown what animal he is. And that was every book 1 skin explained. If this video gets 500 likes, and I reach 500 subscribers, I will explain each book 2 Piggy character. Bye.